Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to this enlightening session upon the open source and its scope. And we, as GDSC BCRC College, are very proud to announce our two speakers, Mr. Parth Sharma and Mr. Vraj Desai. And welcome you all in this session. And let's dive into the open source. So this event is a collaboration with Hacktoberfest, and you can give an ample of opportunity in this enrolling this. The registrations are open, and you will find links in our session uh, periodically. And let's start with all about open source. So what is open source? How can we learn it? We will learn deeply into this session by the speakers itself, but as the idea suggests that it is a collaboration between the technology and many people, and it provides a platform to it. And yes, the code. The internet is open source. We will diving more into it, and let's start with the officially this session. I would like to invite Sapat Sharma, who is SWE PAYTM and had been SDE intern in PAYTM, and has also been DSC tech lead in NIT Patna. And he is an open source developer, Android developer, web developer, and he also likes to write blogs upon technical things. And he will be guiding us through Git and GitHub commands and how to start in that. So I would like to hand over to Mr. Prant. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Ayushi. Hey, hi everyone. So I hope you all are excited for learning about using GitHub for open source contributions, right? So first of all, what do you guys understand by open source? So simply speaking, everything which is available without any foundation, free of cost on the internet, that is open source. You might have seen a slide which was saying that internet is open source. And another example is the entire code base of Android. It is fully open source. You can go and check different files of Android. You can get them on internet. So it is completely open source. And one of the biggest events of this open source community is Hacktoberfest, which will be starting in 3 or 4 days from now. So if you guys want to participate in Hacktoberfest, so you should be familiar about Git, Git Bash, and GitHub, and how to commit codes on GitHub from your local system using Git interface. So why we need this Git interface first of all? So see, when you are contributing in any particular project on GitHub or GitLab, so it can't be the case that you download the entire code in your system, you make some changes, you send those changes to the maintainer of the repo, and then he commits them by himself. You need to commit your own changes, and also simultaneously there will be other people who are working on the same project, so they will also commit their code. So you need to keep your code updated. You need to commit your own code. So for making this complex task very easy, we are having the facility of Git and GitHub. So using Git, you can commit your code locally from your local system to the remote repositories which are hosted on GitHub or GitLab. So for those guys who are not having Git Bash installed on their system, you can go to this website, git-scm.com, and here you can find the packages of Git for all the systems, Mac OS, Windows, Linux. So you can download it from here and install it on your system so that you can commit your code on GitHub. So now coming to how to use this Git Bash and committing your code on GitHub. So I will just open my GitHub account, and we will start from the scratch. So see, during the Hacktoberfest, you will be able to find a lot of repositories on GitHub with the tag Hacktoberfest. So this tag shows that those repositories are participating in the Hacktoberfest, and if you make contributions in those repos and your PRs get accepted or merged in the main code, then it will be counted as a contribution towards Hacktoberfest. So first of all, what a repository looks like, I will create a fresh repository for you guys so you can have an idea. random name. I will keep this repository private, public. Sorry, public. The most important thing is the only the public repositories are visible to you on GitHub. The private ones are hidden. So you will be making contributions in public repos that are available on the GitHub. So my repo will be public. It will be visible to anyone. I will create this repository. So see, since I made this repo just now, it's a fresh one, so it's totally empty. It does not contain any file. But in the projects that you will be making contributions during GitHub, they will be containing a lot of files, a lot of directories. So they will be full of a lot of code. But since it's a fresh repo, I just created it, so it's empty. So I will be cloning it in my local system. How to do that? See, I will make a folder here in my local system. Here, after installing the git bash in the local system, when you will do right click, so you will get a command here, git bash here. So you need to click on this, and the git command line will open in your system. So in this folder, first I will type in the command git init. So to initialize an empty repository in this directory. Now after doing this, remember this command git init, and you can take notes of these commands which are I'm using, so that you can use them during Hacktoberfest. So the first command will be git init to initialize an empty repository in your local system. And after this, in order to clone this repo, see this the
Excuse me,
this
sir.
top dialog. Yes.
Sir, you can share your screen as well.
Oh, sorry, I haven't shared it.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry. Is it visible, Ayushi? Can you confirm? I guess it's visible. Okay. So, okay, let me again create another repo. I think you guys missed it. See, okay. So you need to on your GitHub account. On my GitHub account, I gone here repositories. Here, I created a new one. Simply mm, open source demo, and it will be a public, like I said, public repo. And I will create this. So see, this repo got created. It's totally empty. So in order to clone this I made a folder in my local system with the name. It can be any name, demo directory. And in this folder, I opened git bash. I will show again how to open this. After installing git bash in your system, you just need to go to your destination folder. You need to right click. Here you will get this option, git bash here. Click on this. So you will get git command line in this directory. Into type in the command git init here. So it will initialize an empty git repository. Since I ran this command second time, so it is giving reinitialized existing. But at the first time, it will give initialized empty git repository in this particular location. So after this git init command, what I will do is I will go here, and here I will get an HTTPS URL of my this repository. I will copy this URL, and I will type in the command git clone. I will paste that URL here. So this is the URL of my empty repo. I will hit enter and see. Since it's an empty, it's giving me a warning. You appear to have cloned an empty repository, so there's no problem. The actual repositories in which you will make contributions, they will be full of lots of code. So if I go in this folder, so I got this folder created here, open source demo repo. So this is exactly similar to the name of my repository, open source demo repo. So what I will do here is I will close this git bash from here. I will go inside this particular folder, and again I will open git bash here. So I am now inside my original folder, and I can check my git status here. So how to check the status? Git status. This is the command for checking the status of your current work directory. If there will be any changes made here which are uh, left to be committed on the GitHub, so it will give the name of those files. Otherwise, it will be no commits yet, nothing to commit. It will give this type of message. Since right now I don't have anything to commit here, so I will just create a file here. I will create a Java file. I already have it created. This is hello world, simple hello world program. I will paste this Java file in that particular folder. Okay. The simple Java code. It just prints hello world, nothing else. So what I will be doing is I will again run this command git status. Now you can see it is giving me that particular file's name which is not committed. It is coming in red color. So if I want to commit this particular file to my GitHub repo, so what command I will use? First I will add this particular file world.java. You need to take care of the name. It is case sensitive. Now this file is added in my that committing tree of git. So I will commit it locally after this. After adding, I will type the command git commit, and I will also give a message. In order to give a message, you have to put hyphen n, and in inverted commas, I can type any message which I want. So I will be giving a message first commit, since it's the first commit from this particular folder. So this is my commit message: git commit -m first commit. See, create mode this. So since it's a new file, so it's in the create mode, and once file changes its instructions, you can find all the details here. So now my this particular file is committed locally. Now if I want to push it to the remote repository on the GitHub, so what command I will use? Git push origin. Here origin represents my GitHub repository. Okay, so git push origin, and the default branch where all the main code is handled in all the repos, that is maintained with the name master. You all might be aware of this thing, master, but it can be anything of your choice if the repo is yours, but generally the master name is given to the main branch. So I will be committing this file to master branch, git push origin master, and here it is. The file has been committed to master, pushed to master. If I go here and I reload this page, so we'll see this file here. This file has been pushed to GitHub repo from my local system, hello world.java, and it's the same file. See, hello world, simple output. So this is the first step: committing, adding and committing, and then pushing code from your local system to the remote GitHub repository. Now, what if you want to take the pull of remote code in your local system? For example, currently this particular repo does not have any README file. README files are used to put a short description or introduction of the repo, means what the code in this particular repo does. All the description is put in README file. So a README file is very important for any repository. You will find README files in almost all the big repositories on GitHub. So I will add a README here. I will add it to this repo through GitHub only. So see, it's a default README file, open source demo repo, the name of my repo, and tutorial repo. That is the description. So I can change it, but I will keep it like this only currently. Commit new file and see. So this README file is also added. Now this README file is not present in my local system. So first of all, I will need to take the pull of this modified code from this repo in my local system, so that my local system can be used. So when you guys will be contributing in Hacktoberfest, so keep in mind that you should be taking regular pulls of the remote code in your local system, so that you are having latest code in your local system also. Otherwise, it will create conflicts, and we will coming to those that part handling conflicts later. But you should take regular pulls of the remote code in your local system. So how to take pull? There is a simple command: git pull origin master. Since it is a master branch currently, the main branch, so I am taking its pull, and see this. Now this README file has come on my local system also, and it's the same README file, open source demo project and tutorial repo. That is the name of the repo and its description. So, these are the basic taking pull of the latest code and then committing your code from local system to the GitHub. And then the most important part, that is creating this request on GitHub. So basically, when you will be contributing in open source project repo, so you can't your code directly into the master branch. That is the main branch. You need to create your own branch, make the changes in that branch, and then you have to create a PR against the master branch. So the maintainer of the repo will have a look on your changes, and if he finds that yes, all the changes are okay, so he will merge that PR or accept that PR against the main master branch. So how to make a PR? I will just show you that. First of all, how to make a branch locally. So for that, you have to use this command, git checkout, and since it's a new branch, so I have to use -b. -b represents it's a new branch, and then the name of the branch. It can be any name of your choice, like new branch. So now you can see, previously I was in master. You can see here master, this master name of previous branch, and now it's new branch. Currently I am in the new branch. So here I will make a change in this readme file, for example, in my branch. Save it. Close this. Now again I will check the status, git status command. So here it is showing this readme.md as modified. So what I will do, I will again add this and see. There can be a single file in which you have made changes, or there can be multiple files. And if you want to add all those files in a go without typing the name of the actual file, so you can simply put a dot here, git add dot. So what this dot represents, you need to commit all those files which are having changes in a single go. So git add dot without typing the name of any file. So this readme.md has been added locally. Then I will commit it locally first. Git commit. I will give a message, readme file modified. I have committed it locally. Then I will push it. Hit push origin. Now see, I will be pushing it not on master but on the new branch I have just created locally. Okay, done. Now see here. So see, what it is saying. New branch had recent pushes less than a minute ago, and it is giving me an option to compare and pull request. It automatically comes here when you commit the code in any separate branch on this GitHub. So you can find this here also. See, I will reload this page, and now it is coming here also. One branch is master, that is the default branch, and another one is new branch which I just committed. So what I will do, I will make a PR. You can click on this green button, compare and pull request. When you click on this, it will show you your commit message, readme file modified. That's the message which I used. You can see here this readme file modified. It is the same message here, readme file modified, and in the bottom it will show the changes that I have done. I have added a new line in this readme.md file. It is showing with green color, that means this file has been added. And if I delete any file, it will be shown by red color. So red is for any particular line deleted, and green is for any particular line modified. Added. So these are the changes, and this is the commit message. Here is this option to create a pull request. So I will click on this, and the pull request has been created. And since this PR does not have any conflicts with the actual code, my branch, so it is giving me the option to merge pull request. But in actual repo, the task of merging PR will not be yours. It will be of the maintainer of the repo. And if you are the maintainer yourself, then you can find all the PRs here. Sorry. Yeah. Which one? So if you want to see all the PRs, so on the home screen of your repo, you can find this tab here, pull requests, and here this particular pull request has been mentioned. So I will click on this, I'm getting the option to merge PR. I will click on this, confirm merge, and the PR has been merged, and it is giving me an option to delete branch. If the task of this particular branch is over, so you can delete it, but I will keep it because I will be using it later on. So now coming to the main master branch. So see, I made that particular change locally in new branch, not in the master. But after merging this PR into the master, I can see that particular change in this master branch also. New branch added this particular message. So my branch code and the master's code, they have been merged, and the new code is being reflected in the master branch. So this is how you create PR and how you get it merged. So now coming to the conflicts. So when do conflicts arise? For example, if you are working on any particular branch, for example, I am working in that new branch of mine, and someone added any code in master branch, and I am not aware of that particular change, and I have taken the pull of master branch in my new branch locally. So that particular change which someone else made in the master branch, that is not present in my local system, so that will create a conflict. So how to handle that? First, I will commit a code in this master branch. I will modify this readme file only. For example, this is any change which some other person made in the master branch. So see, this message is visible here, conflict example, and locally I am having this readme in my local system, and currently see I am on this new branch. Now in this new branch, I also made a change in this readme. I will open this one. See, I made this particular change. Uh, change. Now what I will do, I will take the pull of master in my new branch. So how to do that? Git, I showed you this command previously also. Git pull origin and branch name. Okay, sorry. First I need to commit my changes. So see, I just made some change in this my readme file, and I did not commit it locally. So it is not allowing me to take pull of master branch. Before taking pull, I need to commit my code locally. So that's an important thing which you should keep in your mind. What I will do, simply git add dot again, and I will commit my code, uh, commit readme file modified, and right now I'm pushing this particular change mode. Now see, it is showing a conflict message, conflict, merge conflict in readme.md. So why this happened? I made a change in master branch readme file, and I made a change in readme of my new branch also locally. So these two particular changes are not synced currently, so that's why it is giving a conflict. So I will close this readme file, I will open it again. So see how the conflicts look. You will it will look something like this headline, then a separation, and then this line. So what this head represents, it represents my own changes which I made locally in my branch. And so these changes are from this line to this line. Everything in between this are my local changes. And after that, from this line to this line, it is some form of hash code. So all the things between these two lines are the changes coming from the remote master branch. So this conflict example change I made here, you can see this conflict example, it is in the master branch but not present in my new branch. So if I want to resolve this conflict, so there are three options. I can discard my changes and keep this master branch change. I can discard master branch change, keep I can keep both the changes and then commit them in a single go. So right now I'm preferring to keep the changes of master branch, so I will discard my changes. So since my changes are present between this head and this particular line, so I will delete everything in between, including the lines. removed my changes, I will remove this line also because it is not useful in the actual code. So now I have master branch code in my local system. I will save this and then I will commit these changes again. Record, hit commit. Again readme file modified. I will keep the message same and now I will commit this change. Sorry, I will push this change on the new branch. That's done. And then here if I go on this new branch, so this particular change is coming here also, conflict example. Earlier, this line was not there in the new branch code. It was only in the master, but since I resolved the conflict locally, so it is coming here also. And after this, if I again take the pull of master locally, so then it will not give a conflict. See, when I will use this git pull origin master, it is saying already up to date. That is no conflict present now. So this is how you resolve conflicts between different branches. That is your branch and some other branch. So now coming to another important thing, that is stashing your changes locally. So when to use this stash branch, and in that same branch, some another person modified any particular line, and then locally you modify that particular line code. So when you take remote code locally, so in that case, it will again give a conflict. So that conflict will basically show you the changes of which you made and the changes which that particular person made. So what you can do is you can stash your changes locally if you want to keep your changes in the local system, not the changes with that second person made. You want to discard those changes. You want to keep your own changes. So you can stash your changes locally. You can take the pull of a latest code in the branch, and you can apply that stash again in a local system. So your changes will again come in that particular code. So how to do that? For example, I am on this new branch here. Okay, and I will make a change in a line. So first I will, yes, I will make a change in this line. For example, if I modify this particular line conflict, I made a change here. I will commit them here. So now this new branch has been modified. This is the latest code which is present in the new branch on GitHub repo. Now locally, I will make a change here, and this change will be not similar to this particular change. It will be something different, which suits my requirements. Uh, this is my change. It is not similar to this one. Here it is conflict example and stash example, and here what I have done is conflict example. I will save this. Now see, I am not aware of the fact that this particular line has been changed in the remote branch, and I just take the pull off branch. So see, it is giving me a message. Please commit your changes or stash them before you merge. Okay, so it is telling me to stash or commit. So I will not be committing. I will be stashing them. So how to stash these changes? There is simple command git stash. That's it. When you run this command git stash, so your changes are saved in your working directory locally. Now I can take the pull of remote code again. Git pull origin new branch. So see, now I'm able to take the pull after stashing the changes. And now what I will do, I want to apply my changes again. So I will simply type the command git stash apply. Here I'm applying my stash changes. So git stash apply, simple command. I will run this. So the stash has been applied and it has created a conflict in this particular file. So I will go and check those conflicts. So see, it is again showing those particular differences. updated stream. So now see here, this updated upstream represents the code which I means the code which came from remote branch. That is the new branch present on GitHub. Conflict example and stash example. And this particular stashed changes part, it is showing those changes which are stashed locally in my system. So since I want to keep my stash changes and I want to discard the changes coming from remote branch, so I will delete the code between these two lines, updated upstream and this particular line. Since the code between these two lines is coming from my remote repo, so I will remove this code. I will remove. So I taken the latest pull of the code, and also my changes are intact locally. They are not discarded. And now I can continue my work with the latest code. So this is how you stash changes, and this is how all the basic operations are done on GitHub using Git and Git Bash. So I hope all these operations are clear, and you all might have taken the note of all the commands which I just used. These are the most frequent commands which you will be using throughout the Hacktoberfest and throughout your journey in the in this open source community. And yeah, I think we have covered all the main points. There's one more part left. I just want to tell you guys why this particular open source contribution field is important. So see, when you will be sitting for placements in your final year or for any other interview, so if you are having a lot of projects hosted on GitHub or GitLab in the open source field, so your recruiter can actually go and see those projects there and the code which you have put up there, and he can get an actual idea of the type of code which you write, which you develop, and he can get a better understanding of your work which you are doing. So making contributions in the open source, that is a very helpful thing, and it will benefit you in your career a lot. And all these operations which we used just now, these git operations, you will be using them in your actual company also, where you will be working, because there there are a large number of people in the teams of those companies. So the main code base there is more complex as compared to the repos present on the GitHub. So you need to have a good understanding of this git and git operations, so that your life is easy in those companies. So you should, you have not started using git and github and all these git operations till now, so you should definitely start practicing these commands, and you should participate in Hacktoberfest so that you can get this command. So I guess that's it from my side, Ayushi. You can take it from here.
Thank you so much, sir. This was indeed really important to get started in open source and Git and GitHub commands and all the which you have taught, the cloning, from cloning to merging. So I hope all the participants get the all the gist of the open source. And through this, we are moving on to our next speaker, who is like who is an already an open source contributor in GSOC, which is the most celebrated open source event by Google itself. So I welcome you, sir, and I hope that all the participants get to know the main motivation after learning the Git and GitHub, so applying it and contributing it. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so yeah, first of all, hello everyone. You might get so much about Git and GitHub from the previous session from the Parth. So yeah, just learn it, and like if you have missed some commands, you can definitely Google it and you can get a cheat sheet. So like even we as a developers don't remember all the Git commands. So whenever you get stuck, just Google it. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, so I will give a quick intro of myself. So currently I'm doing a good summer of code, and I'm contributing to a OPR, which is an interactive educational platform, and I am an Android developer, and I will be working on OPR's Android app. Apart from that, I am also a GitHub campus expert. I'm a postman student leader, and I'm pretty active in the community, and like I love to hang out and engage in community events. So yeah, that's all pretty much about me. So yeah, like if you have any questions, do put it on the chat, so we will take one by one. And yeah, so there are a few things which I want to say, like still the like the you will ask questions. So first of all, like as the part said, open source is really important. Like there are two things in basically, okay, in computer science when you are in your third or final year, you will do first of all the DSA part, and another is an open source. Okay, so definitely DSA is important. But if we talk about much more of actual software engineering, okay, when you go in to do a job or do an internship, then what to interact with is a production level code, okay, actual code which will be used in the production. So how to get familiar with it? Okay, so just get started with open source. Okay, so open source, first of all, I will also give a brief idea. So open source is just that it's a whole the whatever softwares we are using, their code is available online on the GitHub, so you can see their code. Like there are so many open source applications which we are using. So a few of them are like some of the famous I am telling. The Telegram is open source. Okay, then VLC Media Player is open source. Mozilla Firefox is open source. Okay, so these are very huge, like applications which we are using in our day-to-day life, and they all are open source. Okay, so like one of the motivation which you should also have is like contribute to this open source is you are using these products regularly. Okay, so for example, you are using Telegram and you find that, oh, there is this bug, like I need to fix this. Okay, so just go to the repository of Telegram and file an issue that, hey, like we are having this issue on Telegram, and even if you are able to solve it, you can ask them, hey, like can I pick up this issue and can I solve this. So the open source is a kind of a community, a collaboration thing, where not one person, where it's not just about one person, it's all about a community. Okay, so yeah, just like get started with the open source. Okay, you can find very good projects about it. So I will also explain you like how to get some good projects for the open source. So now you know like what is Git and GitHub. Okay, why you want to contribute to open source, but you also should know like how to get started with it, right? So yeah, I will share my screen and let me explain like how we can find some good issues, and you can use this tutorial for the Hacktoberfest also, basically like to find good first issues and contribute. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Wait a second. Okay. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Great. So see, this is one great site to find the good first issues. So what are the good first issues first? So let me go to some code repo and let us find something. Okay. So this is GitHub. Let's go into the OPA only, like on which I am contributing currently. Okay, see, so this is like any big organization or any good open source repo you can find. You have this thing, documentation here, so you can learn about the project from the documentation. You can get all guide about its setup, how to set up the project, how to get started with the contribution. So here, like we have this wiki page here. Okay, so like this is the same process for every organization, and here I'm showing it for the OPA specific because I'm contributing to it, and it have a very pretty well documentation. So see, like, so there is like this we have this organization, and from here on the readme you can definitely check out some wiki, like what are the how to get started and how to install it. Then you can definitely go through the documentation part. In this, everything will be explained, like how you can. Okay, so yeah, like if you even if you are facing any issues, you can also get some email ID of the admin. You can definitely reach out to them if you have any issue with contributing and all. So this is the thing, like just go to the wiki page of any repository on which you want to contribute, and mostly like what every good open source project have this repo, and you can find it from its readme file, or either we also have this wiki page button here. So if they have written the wiki, you can find the documentation. So this is the first step to get started with open source. Read the wiki, read the readme, read the documentation part of that repo, which will help you to start contributing. Okay, then now this is the basic thing, right? But first of all, like how to find organizations. So there are two things: either you can find issue first and start contributing, or you can find a good organization first and start contributing. So this is one very famous website for to find a good first issue, so you can check this out. I'm also pasting it in comment. Wait. Okay, so you can check out this website. And yeah, it's so basically from this you can select the issues from your tech stack. Okay, see here we have this filtering option. So basically, like if you're just a beginner, okay, you are just getting started with the web development, you basically know HTML, right? So just click on HTML and you get all the issues which are related to HTML, and these all are good first issues. Okay, so good first issues means it is for beginners only. So you won't have to do much thing here, much programming here. It will be a pretty basic, and all the instructions for that issue will be mentioned clearly. So see here, I'm if you are just getting started, I said like you can definitely check out the issues with HTML here, and let's just click on some issue to make you understand. So it's a Kubernetes. Okay, it's an issue from Kubernetes. Kubernetes is one of the biggest project for orchestration. So see here, it will redirect us to the Kubernetes website, and from this issue, you can find some good first issues. So let's just scroll to the issues part. Okay, so my internet is taking a bit longer, but uh, okay. So basically, like from these websites, you can find your good first issues. Okay, so it's all about that. Okay, so yeah, it's loaded. See here, you can actually filter it. So here we have these labels. So from this you can write good first issues. See good first. Uh, So once you click it, it will only show the good first issues, and whatever issue you pick, you can just click on that issue and you can comment that hey, I want to work on this issue. So here also you have to make sure that the issue don't have any assignee. So currently you can see there are this many good first issues, and here there is an assignee section. So what does this mean? That these assignees are already working on this issue. So try to take some issues which don't have any assignee. So let's see, here we have this thing. Okay, so there is no assign here and the issue is open. Okay, so what you can do is just comment on this issue like hey, I want to work on this issue, and then one of the program program contributor, or you can say the project manager, will reply on the comment that like you can start working on this issue and he will assign it to you. Okay, so these were the open source start. Find an issue, comment on that, get assigned to it, get assigned it to you, and after doing that, just start working on it. And yeah, that's the pretty much you can say the roadmap for for a first contribution, right? And so for the Hacktoberfest also, yeah, like you can find the issues from here, and also we have this Hacktoberfest tag on the GitHub, so you can follow that tag to find the repositories which are accepting Hacktoberfest issues like contribution. Okay, now that about the issue. And yeah, like I'm doing Google Summer of Code, and like you might also be excited to be a part of it, right? It's a paid program, so it's really great opportunity for the students. So I'll just give a brief overview. So for Google Summer of Code also, you need to contribute. Okay, so like its application will start around March, in the March month, March and April. But to get selected for that, you need to do some prior contributions, and you need to show that you already are contributing to that project. So for that, I can say, if your goal is to like getting selected in the Google Summer of Code, start contributing from now. And Hacktoberfest is one of the great events. Even like last year, I have started contributing to open source from Hacktoberfest only. And like you can see, I'm having a t-shirt of Hacktoberfest only. So yeah, like it's a pretty good program. Like you can, for Google Summer of Code, you can just select an organization from this website. I'm also sharing the link of this website, so you can follow it from here. Okay, so this site will actually help you to find good organizations. Okay, so what are organizations we have in Google Summer of Code is basically very well maintained, because Google is selecting it from some criteria. So just like to search a good organizations, go and search on this website. You can also filter it from a tech stack. Like if you are from web background, just select web, and you get all the projects related to the web like website, web development basically. See, and here it's not just about the small projects. Here you can also find some great projects like Django is there. Okay, so Django is one of the famous Python framework. So just imagine like how good is it to contribute to one of the like Python web framework Django. Even you can contribute to the Python, like the Python programming language which we are using has its own GitHub repository. Okay, so just imagine like if you think like, oh, I found this cool feature on JavaScript, I need to get this feature on Python also. You can create an issue for that, and you can like work on it, right? So it's just the open source community is all about it. Like if you have any issues, file it and you can just push the code for it. Even if you are not able to solve that issue, you can just file that issue so that that project will be improved. So yeah, like this way you can filter the projects. It's We have this text like for data. If you are from data science, you can get the projects related to the data science. And if you want to contribute to the programming language, see, I said like if you want to contribute to the Python, you can contribute to it, right? It's nothing bad. It's one of the biggest projects. The Julia language is also there for the data scientists. So there are lots of things you can do in open source. So just select your tech stack and select your organization and start contributing to it. And it's not just that you contribute to only one open source project. You can do as many as you want. And I'm saying it like as like for DSA, we solve at least one issue. We can say one problem in a day, one or two problems in a day, right? For consistency. So for open source also, you can contribute, at least try to like merge 2 to 3 issues in a week or in a month, so it will create a good impact on a GitHub profile. Why I'm saying it? Because in nowadays what recruiters are looking is at your GitHub profile also. And I'm saying it from my personal experience. Like I get lots of opportunities just from my GitHub. Okay, so they just look at my GitHub and they say like, oh yeah, you are having a good GitHub profile, you are doing good open source contributions, and like we want to hire you. Okay, so for like hiring process also, like to get hired in a good company, you definitely start contributing to open source. And yeah, you will learn a lot. Okay, and there is no harm in contributing to in doing it. Like instead of doing a free internship, I would say, where you won't get paid anything, try to contribute, try to give that time to contribute to open source, because open source will get you what you want to achieve in your life, right? So yeah, like this is what about all about it. And if you have any like questions, we can definitely ask. I'm up to take any of the questions from your side. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed a enlightening session, and you covered all the points from tip to toe. And I guess I got some few questions because they are not they are
Great.
hesitating in asking. So,
Okay.
what are the community we can join for learning and growing in open source, like mentorship or something?
Sure. Yeah. So like your voice is Ayushi, I guess, break. Okay. So what I get is like what community you should join, right? So am I audible first of all?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Yeah. So I opened this tab actually and I forgot to tell you. So yeah, you can join this community Eddie Hub, which is from the Eddie Jod. He's one of the great person who is uh, like telling everyone to just join open source. Okay, and like I also get started, learned a lot from him about the open source. So yeah, you can definitely follow him. This community Eddie Hub. You can also find some good beginner friendly open source projects from his organization Eddie Hub. So yeah, just join this community. You can share the link here, Ayushi, with the attendees. So yeah, they will get to know about this. Yeah, you can join the Discord server. They have a pretty much active community, and he's also one of the first GitHub star. So you can imagine how much good he's running the community. So yeah, just like he's one of the best person I know for the community for open source, and there are a lot more communities also there. Like you can follow Kunal Kushwaha. He's also putting good content for the open source. So yeah, these are some pretty good persons whom you can follow. Yeah.
So we have question like how much expertise on a programming language one should have in order to contribute to open source by itself.
Okay, so see, we all have this thing like imposter syndrome, that we don't know much about the tech, like how we can get started with it, right? So I can just say that it's okay if you don't know much about the tech. Like if you are just learning web development, just get started with it. You will definitely find some beginner friendly issues, and it's not like that you need to be a pro in any language. You just need to know some basics. And even like even I have done this is like, I don't know how to solve the issue, I just took it up, and in the process I will learn it and solve that issue. Okay, so it's not like you need to know everything before getting started for that issue. Just grab it and try to learn it on the process. You can also ask your mentors for the resources, you can ask in the community. And yeah, like don't feel like you don't why should I contribute, like I don't know anything about this. Just get started. Okay, you will learn on the process. So not everyone will know everything in the open source. You can just learn in the process. That's what I can say. Like Parth also can share something regarding this, like his experience. Right?
Um, the next question which I got is for Parth sir.
Yeah.
The question was like, does open source help in your job in PayTM or something like that?
Actually, not really, but uh, during the first year of our internship, we got a project, and it was on a framework based on Spring Boot. So that framework was completely new for me. So my mentor suggested me to take help of the open source projects on Spring Boot and build that project. So I used open source for my skill development in my company. So yeah, it has helped me a lot in my company.
So we have a question from Parth Chitora. I am in second year, sir, and I learned a language and now I'm practicing DSA. So how should I proceed further? I guess it's for Parth, Sharma sir.
So see, DSA is important. Means you will be asked questions on DSA in your job interview, but you also need to have some pre-developed projects ready in your resume. So those projects, if you want to share with your recruiter, so you should have them on the open source platforms only. So developing a project is as important as practicing DSA. So you should pay equal attention to both DSA, and if you haven't developed any project till now, so you should start doing that also along with DSA, because both the things are equally important in your placements.
So next question is how can a beginner can collaborate or network with peers in open source?
Collaborate
Viraj
on
sir.
network. Yeah.
Yeah, so like you can just contribute, I can say, like just get started with a getting contribution. So you can also be a part of the communities which I shared. So from that also you can build a good network. And what another thing is, when you start contributing, you get started interacting with your mentors, with the project maintainers. Okay, so from that you get this network. And I have seen this, like you even like the project maintainers which are there are really at a good stage of their life in a software field. So you can get some referral from them. Not saying that it's a like from every person you get it, but it's a thing like even where I'm contributing, the person who is the project maintainer is working in Google. Okay, so you can just imagine how much good network you can build just from open source. Like all the people which you get from the open source are very like-minded, and they are doing awesome in their job. So you can build a good network. And yeah, that's what I can say.
So here we are, sir, in the end of our session, and it was really enlightening. And thank you so much for joining us. We are honored to have you on board, and I hope to see many contributors from our college as well, and those who were with us till now. Thank you so much, you the all which are watching, and also the speakers who gave their valuable time. Thank you so much, and that's it for this session.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
just
and we
want to
will.
say one thing.
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
sure.
yeah, so there is this thing on GitHub streaks. So instead of doing maintaining a snap streaks on Snapchat, try to do a streaks on GitHub. It will help you. Help you to get a job Snapchat won't.
Yes. True.
with this light note, we came to the end of the session. And thank you so much for joining, sir. Thank you, and that's it. Thanks.
Yeah.
You can join our
Bye.
community for more updates and more such events. And yeah, thanks.